So there is yet another stabbing within the UK, this time in Manchester, and wouldn't you know it, British authorities there are not releasing the identity of the killer. And it's not like they have the excuse of him being a minor this time. According to the police, he is 22 years old.
A little bit of breaking news to bring you now, because we've got a statement from Greater Manchester Police. It's in relation to a stabbing that happened last night in the Gorton area. 3 people stabbed, including a 17-year-old girl, a 64-year-old man and a 43-year-old woman. Greater Manchester Police are saying that the woman in her 40s died from her injuries at the scene, and the 2 others remain in hospital for treatment to injuries that are believed to be life-threatening at this time. Just to recap, that the 2 people battling for their lives include a 17-year-old girl alongside a 64-year-old man. Greater Manchester Police say a 22-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder. He's been taken into custody ahead of being interviewed by detectives. Detectives, of course, continuing their inquiries. A statement from Detective Superintendent Toby Facey says, "We understand that the local community and further afield across Greater Manchester will be rightly shocked and concerned after waking up and hearing this tragic news this morning. Our thoughts remain with those affected and their loved ones at this difficult time." Within minutes of the call being made, our officers were at the scene and an arrest had been made. They say that they are in the early stages of their inquiries. They're appealing for information. We'd like to speak to anyone who had witnessed this incident to please come forward, and anyone who was in the surrounding area near to Barnard Road at around 11 p.m. They are saying that they should contact police on 101. But just to recap there, a woman in her 40s died after being stabbed in the Gorton area last night at around 11:20 p.m. 17-year-old girl and a man in his 60s currently in hospital, and a 22-year-old has been arrested at the scene.
So the UK government is treating this as an isolated incident, but they're not releasing the identity of the killer. Interesting. Now, there have been a slew of stabbings lately since the Axel Ruda Kabuna murders, where the young man went out killing a bunch of children at a Taylor Swift-themed yoga event. But this time, there don't seem to be any protests from the British citizens. And with good reason. The UK government used that unrest as an excuse to bring about Stalinist-style form of censorship on their own citizens. There have been many thousands of British people arrested since then. And a large portion of those arrests were for the simple crime of posting on the internet in a way that the government didn't like. The Labour Party in the UK has cast aside any pretense of allowing speech that they do not approve of, and are making swift moves to cull their population's will to resist. The thought police have arrived, my friends. The free societies of the West are crumbling behind a new evil that is rising. And in the UK, the Labour Party that now controls the government there is using their power on the British population. There is a bold new strategy underfoot that will further enslave their people. They are calling it Operation Early Dawn.
We will guarantee a prison cell. We will make sure that those people who need to be in prison will be in prison. Not necessarily in the area where they live. They may be 200-300 miles away from home, but we will guarantee people a prison cell.
The numbers are so tight there. How can you make that guarantee?
They are tight, and that's why we've initiated Operation Early Dawn. So basically, the easiest way to describe it is 1 in, 1 out. So as people get released, we can then pick up people from police cells and take them to court, and we will triage that 3 times a day. We will guarantee a prison cell.
I don't know if you caught that, but British citizens can be held in police cells now and will not be summoned before a magistrate's court until a space in prison is made available. This means that the protesters and those who post memes online can simply be held in place until the government releases actual criminals to make room for them. The message here is clear. You will bow to your new rulers, British citizens. You will obey or else. Now, I'm going to speculate here for a moment, and I'm not saying that I know anything that's going to happen, nor am I predicting this to be the future. But you got to wonder how long it will be before someone within this dangerous new government starts asking about the need to expand capacity to handle these protesters. It seems to me that we could possibly see a day when the UK government decides that it needs emergency prisons erected to handle such crises like these. How long before we see concentration camps in the UK like those of the Germans in the 1930s or the gulags of the Soviet Union during the reign of terror that was Stalin? If you think it's not possible, you really need to think again. This government has made their intentions clear here. Freedom, my friends, is out. It's no longer fashionable. Obeying your masters, on the other hand, keeping your head down and doing what you're told to do, to think how they order you to think, to obey your government, that is going to be the new hotness for the citizens of Great Britain. That is the new order that is the UK today. It almost seems surreal that we've reached this point in time. Dark days are ahead for the English. Let us hope that we all live to see a new dawn breaking on the horizon that will see an end to this government tyranny in the UK. From the To Be Frank show, I am Adrian. Thanks for watching, my friends. I'll see you all in the next video.